I need to share with you the best kept secret in Toronto, which is actually the area that I have the privilege of representing, if you didn't figure that out to this moment, which is actually this area over here. So in this area over here, in a very short distance, we are going to have 3 SmartTrack stations. We're going to have a GO station. We're going to have a connection of trails, that is the West Toronto Rail Path, the Guideway, the Green Line that we're working on. So in 10 minutes, we'll be able to get downtown. In 10 minutes, you'll be able to get to the airport. In 10 minutes, you'll be able to get to York University. All this because of what we're talking about in here. So it is for this part of town that a few years ago when we were talking about expanding transit, in reality, we weren't getting much. When we talked about the downtown relief line, a lot of people weren't aware that the downtown relief line that we talk about is in the East End. And we in the West End have questioned that many, many times. So when we saw the opportunity to have SmartTrack, to have these stations, to actually bring jobs to our community like we're doing right now. I have 4 buildings of employment space being built in my community right now. This is the kind of communities that we want to have in our city, where people work, where people live, where people play. That's what we're doing in the West End with some of this project. So it's a great opportunity for this, for the city. I'm being very local, specifically talking about the community that I represent and how excited we are about what the project brings. Obviously, we know that there's certain things that we need to continue to be vigilant, and we've always been a strong voice in some of these issues. One of them, the real estate deals that is going on with Metrolinx. We need to make sure that we're not only talking about the rail. We need to take advantage of the full potential of what these projects brings to our community. So exploring, making sure that connectivities exist, making sure that these trails are being built or at least protected for in the future is of the essence. And for that is really important that we have the local communities at the table as well, because they know it best. Councillor Palacio and I were in a community where we were talking about the West Toronto Rail Path going north, and it was the community that pushed for it. It was the community that really said to the staff, you haven't looked at this in the way that it should be looked at. So it is really important that as we're moving forward, the local councillors and the local community are at the community. Fares. This is great. We have a lot of stops in here. But there's going to be that little distance, that bus ride that people are going to have to take to their homes. And the intention, the way that this is going to work the best is if this becomes a true option for everybody, so that they can choose if they can get on the subway or can get on one of these stations, if they can get on the bus or if they can get, on a streetcar. And for that, we need to continue the work to have the fare integration completely done. We've come a long way. Councillor Ainsley was telling me that he used to pay $6 to get one way on a train ride. He's now down to $3. We've come a long way to make this a benefit, these rail lines that we've seen in our communities, that we've experienced in these communities, to make good use for it in here. So, and at last, the planning around these stations. We have to lead this change. We have to ensure that the planning is done properly. We need to ensure that the investment that we're doing in transit is going to be captured, and ensuring that as we're planning, as we're working these zones, that we protect for some affordability in the housing, that we make sure that jobs are being created, and that we make sure that we have complete communities as a result of our investment. And that is why I will support the